Hey guys, it's Shadney again. Thanks for tuning in. I'm here with another process video. Right now, I'm just going through and kind of showing you some of the supplies that I've already picked out. I At this point in time, I just kind of had a general idea that I wanted to do a sort of grid layout, but it kind of morphed into a little bit more than that. So I'm going to start out with this background paper. I'm just going to trim off the branding strip, and then I'm going through on this image and trying to mark kind of where the edge of the frame is so I can cut a little inside those lines. Trim those up. The top and bottom still had a little bit of the white border, but that doesn't matter because the frame will cover it up. Position it right on there and then adding the adhesive. And then I'm going to take a piece of craft foam, cut it down to size, and layer it behind there just to give it a little extra dimension. The craft foam's nice because it's cheaper than foam tape or foam dots, but it's also just a little bit thinner so it doesn't give it too much dimension. I also have a special pair of scissors that I only use for cutting adhesive, and then it doesn't matter that they get all sticky. A neat little trick with adhesive on scissors is that if you use acetone on a cotton swab or on a paper towel and rub it on your blades, then it will eat that adhesive away and they won't be sticky anymore. So now what I'm doing is I've just got my scrap papers and my 6x6 papers that I had picked out originally before the video. And I'm just going to go through and cut or punch a circle out of each paper. A couple of them I had to double up, so right now I'm showing you how I did that, and then I'll fast forward and skip some of it. You get the general idea. And then I'm going to go through and start laying out all these circles in a big grid pattern across the whole background. There we go. And then I'll go through and do ink around the edges of every circle. And then I'll go through with these foam squares, which are from the dollar store. So it was only $1 for that whole roll. So I don't feel bad that I just used the entire roll basically on this page. There we go, all done. And then I'm showing you that's all that's left of that. I used almost the entire roll. And then I showed you all the dimension of it. And then I'm just trying to think about what I'm gonna do. These are some pieces from one of the collections that I designed that's in my Etsy shop. And then it's actually Peter Pan themed, but I have some alligators or crocodiles or whatever in there, so I just thought it was perfect for the see you later alligator. This picture was just a good picture of her. It doesn't really go along with the story. The story's just about something she's been saying lately. And I just wanted a good picture of about the same time. So going through whenever I'm deciding on elements I for sure want in there, and then inking the edges. I think I end up using all of those alligator pieces. It just adds to the story, and I pretty much picked all my papers and everything based on the collection, trying to use the pinks and greens because I knew I wanted to use those alligator and crocodile pieces. Now I'm going through and I'm trying to decide those papers that I punched holes out of and pull some of those papers out and cut layers out to stack behind the photo. That strip that has the numbers are cut apart labels. You can use them individually, or in this case I'm going to use it as one solid piece and then just as one of the layers. And then I'm just going through picking more layers, more colors. And then once I've got all the layers cut and ready, I've kind of fast forwarded a little bit, but I have all those layers ready. I'm going through and inking all the edges. And then I'm going to start layering everything up, adding adhesive. I start from the top down and then with the picture and then adhere to the next layer, the next layer, the next layer until I'm all the way down to the bottom. I also went with my fingernail and kind of roughed up the edges a little bit. Not really distressed, but just like giving it some more texture so they stand up a little more. And I'm just showing you some of the layers. Then I will fast forward because you kind of get the idea, and to the point where all the layers are stuck together. So now everything's stuck together and I can kind of move it around and play with it. Going back up with my fingernail and roughing those edges up again. And that's exactly where I want that piece. So I'm going to add some foam tape there just to keep it from sagging, because you don't want that in your book and then it'll dent your pictures and it'll just be bad. So adding some foam, and then I'll add some adhesive and get that picture all stuck down. And obviously I use a lot of adhesive. I don't want my photos to fall out or my pages or anything to fall apart while we're looking through it, especially with a toddler that kind of manhandles everything. So I get that all pressed on there, and then I'll regret it in a minute because I have to peel it back up. So this is a piece of vellum that's got foil. It's Chamel. I think it's an older collection. Maybe Go Now Go. I'm not sure. Anyways, I decided I needed something for my letter stickers to sit on, because they're small enough that they'll fall between the cracks of those circles. And so I just needed something solid, but I don't want to lose all the lovely texture and everything of those circles. So the vellum was kind of perfect because you still kind of see through it and everything, but it's solid enough that it'll hold those letters up, and it'll add just another light layer between everything. So I get that cut down to the right width, and then I'll get it adhered together and then cut it down even more. Now the only thing with vellum is that you'll have to make sure that your adhesive only shows where it's going to be covered up. So thankfully, because of the polka dots, it's really easy to hide adhesive behind those polka dots. And then of course where the picture is, because you won't see that at all. And then I'm going to go back and add that on there. Just get it all centered and it's adhered. So then you still kind of see through it, but it's solid enough that it keeps those alpha stickers from being all weird. And then I went back and added just a little bit of adhesive behind where the dots would be. So now I'm going through and getting the alphabet. It's a nice glitter thickers. They're foam thickers. And then I also use a little teeny tiny green glitter alpha stickers from Recollections, which is the Michaels brand. So I'm getting those laid out on some wax paper so that I can kind of move it around and see exactly where I'm going to lay it before I adhere everything and have to move it 5 times. I'm also not sure at this point exactly what my layers are going to look like, so I'm trying to play with those as well in this journaling card and get that stuck down. And then that alligator fit perfectly along the top of that card, so that's what I'll end up putting there. And just fiddling around with it, trying to figure out which layer I'm going to layer it behind, how far in to move it. So now that I've decided exactly where it's going to go and how it's going to lay out, I can start sticking those letters down. The nice thing with this wax paper is that you can kind of fold it in half and adhere half the letter stickers down, and then hold them down and pull the rest of the wax paper out, and it makes it a little easier. Sorry you're seeing the top of my frizzy head. And then I got that all stuck down, and then I'm going to layer it behind that little strip of paper, and then I'll go in and add the thickers. Oh, sorry, I gotta ink the edges. So, and then that's from that collection on Etsy as well, the printables. Get that stuck down finally. And then I'll go back and add the larger thickers. The same thing goes with the larger letter thickers. You can fold that wax paper down halfway, stick the letters halfway down, and then pull the rest out. So now I've got all those letters stuck down. I'm going to go through and just start kind of messing with all of these extra little tags and embellishments and labels and whatnot, and trying to arrange where everything's gonna go. Before sticking anything down, I'm trying to remember to ink the edges of it. It just adds some more definition around each layer so that you see the layers better. Like, you see the distinction between the layers, I guess. And then just adding all the alligators, all the crocodiles, whatever you want to call them, and inking the edges of those pages as well. And then I will adhere this little label behind or between some of the layers of behind the picture. But then once I press it down, I realized I wanted a little bit more pop, so I added some more, cut the foam sheet into a little circle and added some adhesive so that that would pop up just a little bit. And then again, those foam sheets are nice because it doesn't give it too much bulk. It's just a nice thin layer of foam. So adding some more foam, all the foam. And it's nice because this layout ends up with a lot of dimension and texture. So there we go. I skipped a little bit just because it was kind of moving things around and nothing getting stuck down. So now I'm just going in and adding a few more little stickers and embellishments. Most of it coming from that those printables that I was talking about that I designed. And just tucking things behind layers and adding some of those with foam and some of them just with flat adhesive. And I'll just keep kind of adding embellishments and going along. So this whole layout is about my daughter's favorite new saying is, "See you later, alligator." And she will not say "after a while, crocodile." She'll wait and make you say it, but then her next thing is, "See you soon, baboon." So, and she will make you say it over and over and over. So now I'm gonna add my journaling, and I just kind of fast forwarded through that just to not waste time, and added some little extra embellishment star from the alpha stickers, the little chipboard hearts and the little arrow that I had added are from some, I believe, Maggie Holmes chipboard sets. They might be from different ones. I have several. And then I'm going through and adding some of the wood veneers. These little stars, I'm especially liking the darker wood ones. I don't know, it just adds some extra because it pulls that darker wood craft kind of color out of some of those background circles that we had added. And then I'm adding some little hearts because I have some dark colored hearts as well, and just trying to place those in little clusters around. And then I will go back and adhere everything down, just getting it all placed. And then, and before I adhere it down, I guess, I will add in some of these little teeny tiny green hearts. They are from Recollections brand, which is Michael's, like, their brand. I think they were like $2 for that whole pack. They've lasted forever. And green is one of those colors that you don't really use very often, so I figured I might as well go ahead and add a lot. And just finishing out some of those little clusters. And then I'm gonna adhere down all those pieces. I'm using the Nuvo adhesive. It's really awesome. It's got a very super fine tip on it, which is nice. It's a nice texture, so it's not super runny or anything like that. It's not super thick, and it dries pretty quickly. So it's a really good adhesive. I'm gonna have to order some more next time I place a Scrapbook.com order. Just getting all those pieces adhered down. And that's just about it. So if you like the video, please hit like and subscribe and all the wonderful things so you can see more. Thanks for watching and sticking it out this far. Have a good day. Thanks.